just undermining me. Unbelievable. I'm coming to Pittsburgh, and I'm going to give you a wet willy. So the Nets, they cut him on Shumpert last week. They made room for Wilson Chandler, who can't believe 25 games has gone by, but he's back. Shumpert's gone. Not the most popular move, but I just think Marks valued Chandler and the younger players on the roster over Shump, veteran and friend of Kyrie Irving. But Chandler so far has looked the part in 2 games. He's making the right plays. He studied the offense. He's in great shape. He shot a 3 tonight, so excited to see what he can do as they stretch forward that the Nets severely need. It's been an up and down week. The Nets were beating up on bad teams before that loss to Charlotte last Wednesday. Then they go into Toronto, don't play well there. But then they come back to Brooklyn this past Sunday, and they beat the Sixers by 20. Their largest margin of victory all season. The Sixers did not have Embiid, but I said way back when in April, when the Nets lost to the Sixers in 5 games in the first round, that this had the buddings of a rivalry. And the game was chippy. You had Simmons out there, Tobias Harris, Al Horford, and the Nets just dominated them from start to finish. So I'll sum it up with this sentence. Without Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and Karis LeVert, the Nets have won against the Rockets, Nuggets, Celtics, and Sixers so far this season. Very impressive.
No, absolutely. The Nets have done just a phenomenal job this whole season dealing with adversity, and it's been really, really impressive.
So we talked about you being a homer. I'm going to just be the conductor on the homer train for one more time tonight, and I am going to clamor for the hopeful eventual all-star berth of Spencer Cornelius Dinwiddie. That is not his middle name. Just felt like being cute. But this guy's averaging over 20 points a game as a starter. Has that clutch gene, is getting it done. He's dishing the ball. He's playing smart. He's not turning the ball over. I mean, am I crazy to think that he can make the Eastern Conference All-Star team as a reserve this year with the way he's playing?
I think Spencer Gray Dinwiddie is absolutely a guy who could make the All-Star team with the way that he's played for this team and the way that he's kept them in the playoff hunt. I have long been a fan of his game. As you know, I think he's in the conversation for best contract in the entire league with the way that he plays. I mean, let's just kind of rattle off his numbers. I mean, even the counting stats, Jason, are really impressive with 21 points a game, 3 rebounds a game, 6 assists a game. But those really underscore the fact that he's one of the best isolation players in the league, which is critical for this team that's a little bit offensively challenged without Irving. They just don't have that many scores. They can really turn to him when they need shots. He's hit some big shots. And I think ultimately beyond that, he's just a great defender, great leader, and great teammate. All the guys on this team clearly love him. I think an all-star berth is absolutely something that he would be deserving of, especially in an Eastern Conference that, ultimately there's a few guys on the best teams. I mean, obviously you have your Giannis's. You look at the Sixers. I mean, a couple guys there are going to get on the team, but when you start going down, once you get past the Celtics and the Heat and the Raptors, there's just not that many guys who you're going to be competing against. I mean, he's going to be competing against guys like Zach LaVine, guys like Bradley Beal on some of those lower teams who are probably going to have a little bit better stats than he does, but their teams just haven't been very good. So ultimately, I do think it's fair for him to get some All-Star love this year.
Well, let's just look at the point guards in the East for a second. I think Kemba Walker's a lock. I think that Ben Simmons is a virtual lock. And I think that Dinwiddie could be right there as that third point guard, beating out the likes of Kyle Lowry, the young duo in Cleveland. I don't think are ready yet. Sexton and Garland. Beal's at 2 guard. Dragic is, on the wrong side of 30. So I think Dinwiddie, especially with Kyrie out, it's going to be weird to have an all-star game without Kyrie. And he was on pace to get it, but ultimately I think the injury will leave him off unless he wins the fan vote, which he's not the most popular player in the game anymore. So we'll see what happens. But I think if the coaches are selecting, he's definitely got a shot. And I'll be very interested to see what happens because around this time next month, we should start to know the rosters, at least the starters. That's how fast the season's flying by.
Well, could I throw out one more name from the Nets who might
Jason
be an all-star?
Goldstein? Don't say Jared Allen.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like he's been such an impactful player for them. I think the
I agree.
advanced stats love him. I mean, I think what's going to end up killing him is that he just doesn't play enough. He only plays 26 minutes a game, but the advanced stats absolutely love Jared Allen. He's just outside of the top 10 in rebounding. He's a great defensive player. Tonight he's already got 5 blocks, Jason. I
In the
mean,
first 7 minutes, and 4 of them were on Brandon Ingram. I know. I'm over the moon about that.
I mean, he's just a guy who I think if there's one complaint that you've heard me say 17,000 times already this season, it's just why is Jared Allen not playing more? I mean, he's
He
such a good
is.
player.
They have worked out, well, because they have to be mindful of DeAndre Jordan's personality. And the fact that Jordan's okay with coming off the bench and he's meshing well with the second unit, the center position is probably the one Kenny Atkinson has to worry about least because he knows what he has in Jared Allen. I think he could be an all-star one day, but I'm ready to go to war when Durant and Irving come back with this 1-2 punch of Allen and Jordan at the 5 because it's working.
Mm-hmm.
As Allen a little more minutes, absolutely, but I don't think the numbers are there. He's only 22 years old. Give me a year or two, and I think Allen will be on the Eastern Conference All-Star team, with guys like Al Horford, going to be getting out of the league soon. Joel Embiid will be the starting center for the East, I think, for the next 35 years. And other than that, there really aren't that many, true centers
Well,
in the East that I think would be better than Jared Allen.
I think there's one guy you're just leaving off here kind of criminally, which is Bam Adebayo might be better than Embiid this year so far. And I know people who
better long-term play than Bam Adebayo.
What'd you say?
Adebayo's more of a 4. I think Adebayo's more of a 4.
Yeah, I mean on this team he plays the 5 for them, and I mean my goodness, I don't know if I can name more than 10 players who've been more impressive in the games that I've watched than Adebayo because of his ability to do so many things. I think he is just an absolute monster for them. I've been shocked. I mean, he was such a raw prospect at Kentucky, and coming in now this year, I am blown away with the way that Spoelstra will run the offense through him in the high post, and he can pick out cutters, pick out shooters. He is a monster rebounder. He is a phenomenal defender. I mean, for a guy who, as you mentioned, is more of a power forward size, he's only 6'9". This is a defense that funnels everything to him because they count on him to erase mistakes. And the other thing is, a little bit like a Montrezl Harrell, he's got those quick hands and he can poke balls away from bigger players. And it seems to slow down guys who are bigger than him because they're afraid that they're afraid that he's gonna get his hands on the ball when they try to make a post move, and it's been a big deterrent. So I've been blown away by him. But yeah, I agree with you. Jared Allen, definitely one of the upper echelon guys for the future of the Eastern Conference.
So before we go, since this went so well 2 weeks ago, we are going to double up once again on our marquee matchups of the week, starting with games being played tomorrow, the 18th, all the way through our next show on December the 30th, right before the New Year. So we have a couple Christmas Day games sprinkled in here, but leading off, something we touched on earlier, and Ben, I am going to pass you the baton, and you tell the people what it is.
Oh yeah, I mean Lakers at Bucks. That's going to be a heck of a game. The two best teams in the league by a pretty decent margin. We get to see LeBron versus Giannis. I mean, imagine if that's our finals. Whew, that would be a lot of fun. You get to see Anthony Davis go there. I mean, there's just a lot to love there. Going to be a heck of a game. Can't wait to sit my butt on the couch and watch that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. And then later on in the weekend, Saturday, December 21st, a matchup of high-octane teams, Mike D'Antoni's Rockets going against the Phoenix Suns, who have been a surprising upstart team in the West, led by their backcourt of Ricky Rubio and Devin Booker. DeAndre Ayton's due back soon from the PED suspension, so look out for Phoenix, and I think that's going to be a good one as well. I'll be in Vegas this weekend. I might throw a couple shekels on that one.
I like it. And speaking of games that we're going to want to watch here, our third one, Nuggets at Lakers on Sunday. That's going to be another high-octane matchup, and this is going to be another opportunity for the Nuggets to try to show that they can hang with the LA teams. They've struggled a little bit, it seems like, against some of the better teams. It sometimes feels like they don't have the gear that the Lakers and Clippers do. So this will be a chance for the Nuggets to show that they can compete when they play those top teams. And I'll be one of the people watching, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And this is where we start to cheat a little bit because usually the last couple of years we have broken down the Christmas Day slate. I think that we've done that at length, especially with a lot of these teams playing each other over and over again. So we have 2 Christmas Day games on this list. The first, potential Eastern Conference Finals preview and we're going to go with my Milwaukee Bucks playing at your Philadelphia 76ers. So while you're in Philly on Christmas Day, Ben, get me a cheesesteak, please.
Yeah, I mean, this will be a great test. And speaking of great tests, same day, Christmas Day, we get another present under our tree with the Clippers traveling to the Lakers. They'll be in the same building, but there's going to be a lot of Laker fans there. I think that Kawhi and Paul George are going to get up for this one, and that is going to be maybe the game of the year. I think this is going to be a great game. I think those two guys are going to be so motivated. They clearly felt slighted at the beginning of the season with the way that the Laker fans kind of booed them out on their home opener. And I think that this is going to be a game that those guys are really going to be ready for. And I think this is going to tell us a lot about what we talked about earlier and who comes out of this conference.
See, that's exactly why I didn't want to chalk anything up to the opener because there was no Paul George. And look, you're never the same on opening night as you are at this point, as we're approaching the midway point of the regular season already. I mean, a lot of these teams have played almost 30 games. Crazy how fast this is going. So our final marquee matchup of this 2-week mini hiatus that we're taking is technically also a Christmas Day game, but the game that I chose is flip-flopped. So instead of Celtics at Raptors on Christmas Day, I'm going with Raptors at Celtics on the 28th just to get us a little bit closer to our next show. Either way, you're going to want to tune into that matchup twice next week.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing. That's another one of those teams that are right under those top two in the East. They could definitely shake some things up. But Jason, I think that does it for today. We will see you all in a couple of weeks because, as Jason mentioned, next week is Christmas, and the two of us will be enjoying some Christmas cheer on our couches or with our families. But we will see you before the new year in just a couple of weeks on December 30th. So look forward to that. Jason, you have anything for the people?
Yeah, from both of us here at Baseline Jumper, I just want to wish all of you, whatever you celebrate, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, have a very merry holidays. Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever it is that you celebrate, we hope you and yours have a great time. It's not about what's under the tree, it's about who's around it. So, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And please remember, as a Christmas gift to us, even though gifts don't matter, please subscribe, rate, and review.
5 stars, please.
And we'll be back on the 30th with another show to round out 2019.
Happy holidays.